Welcome, gentlemen, to Ask Hypnotica 66. Today we are going to talk about know thyself. A lot of times I always say know thyself, know thyself. It's been around for a long time. And I want you guys to understand exactly what I believe know thyself means, because it's kind of vague in general. Know thyself, okay, I know myself, right, great. All right, but what does that really mean to you specifically? Well, I'm going to talk about a few ideas, and hopefully as you listen to what I'm going to be talking about, you're going to be able to start to self-reflect on yourself about how much you know about yourself and what you don't know about yourself. And I'll tell you right now, the number one way to know thyself, in my opinion, is experience. All right, if you're just sitting around and you're not pushing yourself and you're not going above and beyond and you're not putting yourself in situations that sometimes scare you, and what I mean by scare you is not like going to a haunted house or nothing like that, okay, or down to your local crack house with $100 bills taped all over your body, okay, we're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about basically thinking for yourself, am I going to push myself farther than I did yesterday? Am I going to pick goals and dreams and have visions that are bigger than me personally? Am I going to put myself, am I going to grow? Basically, that's what it really comes down to. Am I going to grow? Am I going to continue to evolve the vision of me, the evolving me into the future? Am I going to be moving upwards? Am I going to be staying the same? Or am I going to be this? I wouldn't recommend this. Okay, so let's reverse that and let's go this way, okay? And the reason to do this is because it's your life. Like, if you don't know you, then how the hell is anyone else going to know you? And probably lots of people will know you, but they probably won't want to be with you, because if you don't have a level of understanding of who you are, you're really not going to be that big of an impact, I believe, in their life. Because I believe if you're vague and you're undecided about things, you're not going to be able to hunker down and make powerful moves, all right? You're going to be kind of like, well, I don't really know where to step. I shouldn't step there. You just got to step, okay? You got to lock and load, get yourself braced, have a foundation, and boom, go for it. But you don't do that if you're trying to like be friendly with everybody around you and you don't know where you stand on anything like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just give you kind of a small list of things to think about on the different aspects of know thyself, because they can be your prejudices, okay? And I don't mean like you like black, white, red, pink, yellow, purple, whatever it is, okay? We're going to talk about that. Your prejudices about your own stuff that you don't want to deal with, okay? Do you know that? Do you know your values? Do you know what your boundaries are? Do you know what your likes are, your dislikes? Do you know what makes you sad? Do you know what makes you motivated? Do you know what makes you happy? Do you know what makes you eat shitty? Do you know what makes you eat healthy? Do you know how to respond to aggression? Do you know how to respond to a threat? Do you know how to respond to passive-aggressive people? Do you know how to respond to perhaps a crazy girl in your life, if you're a guy, or a crazy guy in your life, okay? Do you know what makes you tick? If a person ignores you, are you more attracted to them or are you not more attracted to them, okay? Some other things to think about on Know Yourself is your sexual preference, okay? What do you like? You like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different women in your life, okay? Me personally, I know I'm not monogamous. Now, I've fought against that many years. I fought against what society said was right and what I believed I am, okay? And, went against that. So I know that about myself. Monogamy makes me feel like I'm claustrophobic, okay? I have a perfect balance of 2. That's what I like. 3 is okay. I've been up to 5 before, but that started leading my life, and I wasn't living because I was reacting to everything around me, so that wasn't a good thing. That's another way you can find out about yourself, okay? What is it you like as far as that goes? And so when you think about it, maybe monogamy is your thing. That's awesome as well, okay? So like I said, these are things that you get to learn as time goes on. Some other things to think about is, what about your women? Do you like crazy women? Do you like, some people do, okay? I tend to like a little bit wilder women on my level. Do you like super submissive? Do you like assertive? Do you like bossy? Okay. Do you like clean? Do you like organized? Think about these. These are things that you need to know about yourself as well. And these are all what I consider the reflective plates upon your soul. Okay. And I know you may go, wow, he's talking about soul and all that stuff. Listen, here's my understanding of it to a degree, okay? You may or may not disagree with it, but this is how I consider things. Imagine your soul like a crystal. Now, anything that you have that's in your life that's around it has a certain, perhaps, color to it. It has a certain aura to it. Imagine there's a crystal right here, and you look at it, you're, wow, and the crystal's looking out, and it's like, okay, cool, I'm see-through. That's great, okay? I'm this perfect soul. But let's just say that a rose goes near it. All of a sudden, now the rose is now reflecting on the crystal, and the crystal starts seeing that reflection, and so the crystal starts to think, well, maybe I'm that rose, because it's so transparent and it's so reflective that it's showing the soul, which is pure, all these different items that are going on. These could be your beliefs, your values, your ideologies. It could be, like I said, it could be all kinds of different things. So you, as a person, is the soul, is the crystal, and all your beliefs and all the other stuff that goes on, your memories, okay, your visions, would be the rose with all the many different petals. And all of a sudden, you're reflecting into the crystal, and the crystal's seeing that, and the crystal's now saying, oh, I'm actually this, when you're not actually that. This is what colors you for your own unique personality. And like I said, every person's different. Every person has a unique personality, and I believe has a unique way and vision and purpose on this planet. Another aspect of this is know your own limits and limitations, okay? I know what my own limits and limitations are. I know exactly how I respond to pretty much any situation. For example, okay, first of all, I know that I'm not going to go out and run 26 miles. Ain't happening. No way. That's a limitation. I know that. Now, some other things that I know myself on, and this comes from experience. This comes from putting yourself in situations over and over and realizing, okay, where you're weak, where you're strong, how to manipulate yourself out of certain situations and things like this. For example, okay, I know if I eat sugar, I'm screwed. It's like sugar is the key, and I binge, eat everything. I can clean out my entire refrigerator in one setting, and that's not smoking weed at all. That's just me going roar, okay? So it's possible, okay, if I eat sugar first. I try not to eat sugar. I know that about myself. That's one aspect. Do you know that about yourself? I also know the best time for me personally to get stuff done. Okay, if I wake up early, okay, which it happens rarely, okay, I can be a little inconsistent. I'm consistently inconsistent, okay, on certain things, and I'm also inconsistently consistent, if that makes any sense. But I also know my best time of work because I do work sometimes till 4 in the morning, sometimes, if I get a good night's sleep and I wake up at 5 in the morning, okay, which is rare, but when I do, I get loads of stuff done. By 11 o'clock, everything is done. I know that about myself. If I go after and I go try to do stuff around maybe 11 o'clock and I start there, stuff doesn't get done, okay? My mind's not as focused. I know that about myself. I know myself. I know how to leverage myself to do the best. I know how to leverage myself to be the most productive. I know the best times also for me to work out. If I work out first thing in the morning, a lot of that energy that I could be working or being focused gets dissipated through working out. So when I come back, I'm not as effective in business, okay? So I know that my business, if I focus on that and I study and I get things done there, and then I go work out, it's good. My best workout times literally are probably about 10 to 11 in the morning. I know that about myself. Some bad habits that I have, Facebook, okay? If I'm sitting in bed at night, it could be like 11 o'clock and I'm just going down scrolling about, just interested in what my friends are up to and things like this. I could be there for hours. I know that about myself. Get the phone away from me, okay? Then I can get a good night's sleep. I know that. That is something I know about myself. I also know this about myself. Me, okay, I've been in lots of like scruffles and scraffles, okay, and stuff like this, okay? Like that means like, like pop, things like this. But never usually because of me. I've taken punches to the face and I'm like, okay, that's your one warning. There's no more warnings after this, okay? You want to understand this? I know that I've had people spit in my face, okay, been working. I have a certain cool disposition. It's reserved. Now, I also know this about myself. If I see someone hit my friends or my family, berserker mode, it's over. This guy's mauled, okay? Him and his whole crew, done. Okay, so I know that about myself. Myself can't really offend me. Okay, it's just one of those things. I have a good, strong disposition. You screw with one of my friends or my family, you're done. All right, I know that about myself. So I try to make sure that I can step in and work things before it gets to that level. That's from knowing thyself. I know also from trial and error that it's a strength and it's a weakness. I'm a great, loyal friend who sees the best in others. But because of that, it's also bit me in the ass by taking people in, and I've got screwed over. So, do I let that affect who I am? No. Okay, I'd rather just say, hey, this is who I am, and these are trials and tribulations. It's going to shape my character even more, showing that this is who I am, and I continue to give. All right, these are the things that I know about myself. I also know about myself work mode, how I am in work mode. Okay, I'm not like a straight linear, just hammer it out. I'm more cylinder-like. Okay, so I like do something over here, and then boom, I pound it out, and I come back, and then I take a little break. I come back, and boom, I hit it again, and I have multiple projects. I know that about myself. I'm a great starter. Okay, in the middle, I get a little like this. At the end, it's kind of weird because I kind of like, it's kind of coming off the middle part, and then what I do is I take a break, and it's like if you ever saw the movie The Outsiders, I'm like, we're doing it for Johnny. I come in, I just hammer the end. Okay, so I can trick myself there, but I know myself enough. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, this is what I need to do. I know if I'm overrun or I've partied or I've done all kinds of stuff, I know what my reset is. I do a 3-day green juice fast, go get a massage, okay, listen to some of my hypnosis tapes or other people's hypnosis tapes, and then I get back in mode. Okay, then after 3 days, I'm feeling strong. I know that about myself. Okay, experience teaches you all of this stuff, and if you don't utilize, I'll give you a couple more. For the most part, I put others first, unless it crosses my own personal path. Like I'll give the shirt off of my back to help others and do stuff. Now, if you start conflicting with my personal journey, you're going to lose. Okay, that's just the way it is. I know when I go out, I'm more, how should you say, holistic when I go out meeting people. Okay, I can be very upfront and stuff like this, but I'm not one of those aggressive, assertive guys that just walks right up. I'm more laid back, chill, and then I kind of get in a conversation and I do things like that. And that's how I kind of, get to my intimacies and stuff like that, because, I'm just more kind of chill about the whole situation. So all these things are things that you get to do, but you don't get to really understand who you are. Like partying, I could party my balls off, all right, and and I can go the distance. Okay, I know that about myself. I know that I'm not really have an addictive personality unless I eat sugar, and then your refrigerator's gone. Okay, but these are the things that I know personally about myself, and you should know personally about yourself. If someone tries to cross the line with me, ain't happening. Okay, if a person tries to get one over on me, I have like a 3-strike rule. Okay, what I do is I like to play a little bit. It's like, I'm the fishing pole, and they're like biting and they're pulling it, and I'm kind of thinking, oh, this person thinks they're going to get away with this, so I give them a little bit of rope, and they think they got me, and I give them 3 times, and then on the 3rd time, bam, I pull the rug out from underneath of them and just be like, look, man, it's just my own little personal thing. But these are all things that you get to know about yourself. And the nice thing about this, and the difficult thing, is these usually are habits. Okay, so habits are a little bit harder to break, but they also give you guidelines to self-reflect upon yourself and say, okay, do I like this? Is this useful? Is this going to make me a better person? Because if I look at it and I'm like, okay, cool, like what do I do? How do I inoculate against this? Like sugar. I know that if I have a green drink in the morning, I'm good. I don't need sugar. But if I miss that mid-meal, okay, then I tend to get a little loose, and then I'll drink something, and then it's over. Okay, so you also can inoculate against these things. You know what to inoculate with. You know what to inoculate against, because you know yourself and you've analyzed yourself, and it's a self-reflective life. Like I've said before, an unexamined life is not really living a life. Okay, you got to know where your strengths are, your weaknesses are, and you got to put yourself in the environment and the circumstances that allow you to grow, which allows you to unveil your special traits. A lot of times I put myself in very scary situations, okay, but I found out more about myself by doing it. Lots of times, like I've told you the stories before, I've gone up against the 1%er motorcycle gangs, trying to get girls that I've hidden from getting abused and off of drugs and stuff like this, and had people pull up, and I confronted them, and I was thinking, okay, I could die. Okay, broke up a home robbery. Okay, 12 brothers were trying to do a home invasion. Okay, I stepped up and almost died. Okay, the situation. Got lucky on that one. Okay, but I ended up chasing these guys 30 minutes in my car. All right, that's how I ended up getting a dog, because I was like, oops, they may come back and they know where I live. Wasn't the smartest decision, but it probably saved my neighbor's life. So in those environments, I learned about myself, like if the going gets rough, okay, I'm going to step up. I know that. Okay, I know if I'm on your team, you're stoked. Okay, if it comes down to when shit hits the fan, you're in a good place. So like I said, if I didn't have that, then I'd say, hey, what can I do to inoculate against that? Maybe I can get training. Maybe I can get gun training. Maybe I can do all kinds of things. But what you do is you leverage it and you find out where you think your own weaknesses are by self-reflecting, and where your strengths are, and you move on from that. So hopefully, like I said, this is one of those things that's very personal and interpersonal with what your ideas about this are. And I'm curious down below, what is your ideas of know thyself? And what do you think the most important thing is to discover that? So if you got that, hopefully you do. Other than that, hey, this is Hypnotica 66. We'll see you next time. Until then, oh yeah, remember, if you have a question, askhypnotica@gmail.com. We'll talk to you soon. Adios.